I've shared wellness tips, talked about the importance of cleansing your body, and the equally important task of establishing routines to support a lifestyle change. The new you is emerging. You've begun healthy eating and exercise, making the changes to support a healthy lifestyle. My mind at this point wanted to play tricks on me. The self-talk and thoughts in my head could have totally taken me down the road to failure like it had 100 other times. But something was clicking a little differently this time. The pull toward health and wellness was stronger than it had ever been. Ironically, the reading that started a change in the way I think about my lifestyle and who I am came from the book A Musician's Walk by James Jordan. This week's focus on presence, mindfulness, and discovering who we really are. Here's your homework. Think of one word that describes you right here, right now, where you are today. One word. Reading The Musician's Walk led me to some other great reads, podcasts, and videos. Medical professionals, psychologists, musicians, and spiritual leaders dotted my learning. I encourage you to explore Deepak Chopra, Rudy Tanzi, David R. Hawkins, Eckhart Tolle, and maybe the music of Jonathan Goldman, along with the Bible or other doctrine of your beliefs. I'm going to use this summer to discover Parker Palmer and Thomas More. I'd like to read a little William Wordsworth and Maya Angelou, and I would like to continue my walk to be more present, awake, and mindful. I believe that the mind and body are not separate but one entity. I believe that my fundamental belief, Christianity, is leading me to lean into this realization. I asked you to think of a word that describes you in your present state. Now, can you expound on why you chose that word and what that word means to you? Do you live on or off stage? Maybe as a musician, it's easier for me to grasp this. But think for a moment about walking out on stage, imagining that you're going to perform for an audience. There's a heightened awareness of yourself, the audience, and other performers. We are aware of every move, sound, and nuance. So how do you live your day-to-day life? Are you acutely aware of everything around you? Or are you numb to your surroundings? Do they appear dull? Are you awake? Most of us live offstage. Which side of the equation do you identify with? I have self-doubt and self-esteem issues versus I see myself without blame or judgment. The first is destructive to our body-mind. The second is focused on healing and building your health. Now think back to your word and why you chose it. Which side of the equation are you on? I am convinced what the mind believes, the body manifests. For example, I've tried everything, but the weight loss just won't come off. The problem isn't the weight. The problem is the mind. Or, I hate how I look. I struggle to have more willpower. I feel guilty and ashamed for being overweight. With these negative thoughts, there is no chance the mind and the body will cooperate to achieve success. In their book, The Healing Self, Chopra and Tanzi provide medical evidence that the mind and the body are one. As radical as this may sound, there isn't one cell in our bodies that travels without the brain telling it to travel and where to go. Why would we want to send the cells out over our body's superhighway already defective with those kinds of thoughts? Be honest. What do you think? How long has it been since you looked at a tree, a flower, or a bird like it was the first time you've ever seen it? How many of you went to work yesterday like it was the first day on the job? How many of you worried about something yesterday, this morning, or even a few minutes ago? Thomas More says in his Soul's Religion, we have to get ourselves out of the way. Learn to quiet the ego, which is that little voice in our head that delights in worry, jealousy, and inferiority, which are unconscious responses. Eckhart Tolle says in New Earth that these unconsciousness steals our peace. Worry, complaining, and pessimism are all part of that. More calls these states of mind anxious attempts of the ego to prevent life from happening. So while we're talking about worry, let me quote Matthew 6:27. Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single day to your life? The benefits of striving to quiet my mind and my ego and live consciously was the best decision I have ever made. Ready? To wrap up this week's emphasis on the power of our minds over our bodies and to reemphasize the oneness of the two, I bring in love. There is nothing greater than love. Love is the healthiest of emotions. How often have you had an issue to work out because of the inability to understand each other as human beings? The decision to love yourself and others opens the door, as James Jordan says, to a higher, more brilliant way of living. Chopra and Tanzi lead us to the scientific research showing those who feel loved are more likely to enjoy healthy living. Directly quoted from The Healing Self, love is a state of awareness, not a lifestyle choice. I began the week asking you to describe yourself with one word and know why. As you travel along your journey, are you hopeful that your one word description will change? Have a great week.